Hello there friends, CS2 News Live reporting. A few days have passed since the official release, so it's the perfect time to discuss the launch of the new game. Let's see what the pro players are saying, what team changes are coming, and out of the blue we'll discuss the conflict between Simple and Stewie2k. Lots to cover, CS2 is trending, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. So, we will talk about the CS2 launch. As expected, not without its problems. The beta had a ton of issues, and it seems like the official release only magnified them. Boosts weren't working, smokes were glitching, and servers were struggling. Valve had to quickly come up with solutions just so people could play CS2, and yes, they found one. They simply removed CS TV. Now you can't record or watch demos. They've cut the feature so the servers could simply cope. Apparently Valve didn't anticipate over a million players rushing into CS2 at once, nearly 1.5 million to be precise. And they didn't prepare enough servers. Had 2 million players shown up, would the game just crash and burn? Lots of questions remain unanswered. The biggest complaint is that CSGO was simply removed. Now you can't play it. I read some reviews on Steam and many are complaining about their PCs not being able to handle the game, disliking the graphics, the bugs, and missing custom servers from CSGO. All those game modes players loved, Valve didn't offer a replacement. They just removed the old game, which had thousands of fun modes. Amid all this outrage, traders also raised the alarm. Reddit posts are claiming that the CS2 skin market has taken a nosedive. The game's launch flopped, there wasn't an influx of players and the prices for some skins dropped by 20, even 30%. All because Valve rushed to the release. Not only did they fail to bring the players' favorite game modes, but they also didn't add their own. You know, Danger Zone, Arms Race and all that, they're just missing. But in recent updates, these modes have been hinted at by data miners, so it seems that Valve are working on them. Regardless, it's hard to call this a full game release. It's just an open beta, nothing more. At least it's free. Otherwise, we'd have a new Cyberpunk 2077 that would need another 3 years of work. Pro players are undoubtedly the most disappointed. ESL has announced that all upcoming tournaments will be held in CS2, with the first being IM Sydney in just 2 weeks. In a game where binds are not working, demos are glitchy, and there are plenty of bugs and lags, the first official pro matches will take place pretty soon. It's going to be interesting to watch and fun, I guess. Blast, on the other hand, has decided not to rush things, and the upcoming showdown will be played in CSGO. And this is honestly the saddest part. Some are still hosting their tournaments in CSGO, which technically no longer exists, while others are already switching to CS2. Pro players are losing their minds over this. Here's what Twists had to say. In all honesty, my level has been bad individually. I am not displaying how I am in practice. Inconsistency is a huge problem for me at the moment and can be caused by a variety of things. Unfortunately for me, my motivation dropped a lot, with CS2 being always in my mind. The effort to find new things, a new smoke or flash, knowing that it will be useless at any time because of the unknown release date of the game, and also playing the new game and knowing the issues it has at the moment. I let this impact me, and I know I end CSGO with a performance I will regret having. As a professional, it's my job to go into the new game with the best mindset, approach and motivation to be the best teammate and player I can be. See you all in the new game. Meanwhile, Navi's legend Zeus shares a similar sentiment. I believe that within a year Valve will craft a great game, but at this stage it's hard to talk about transitioning to tournaments. There are many bugs, a lot of unclear spray patterns, issues with shooting mechanics, questions regarding grenades, and very weird map textures. For instance, Mirage is super bright. There's more work to be done to make it enjoyable. And how about some words from the old good Snappy? The game's really bad at the moment, but as professional players, it's our job to accept it. The game is gonna switch and we just have to adapt. We have to play, we have to have positive eyes on it. I think everyone knows that the game is bad currently. There is 64 tick, there are a lot of issues with the game and they release it prematurely. But with that said, it's our job to accept that and work with it, try our hardest and just accept it with positive arms despite it being a shit game at the moment. However, not everyone is so critical. Many actually enjoy CS2, for instance Nico from G2. CS2 is not ready yet for the competition, but oh boy, it feels nice to play the new game. Since IEM Sydney will be played on CS2, I don't see any reason why Blast would want us to play it on CSGO. This also gives us only 3 days of practice between Blast Showdown and IEM Sydney. Or here's what Robs has to say. Some people are saying that it's unplayable, and then some people are saying it's not ready for competition. The game is playable, so the people who are saying it's unplayable are definitely wrong. The game is not ready for competitive matches, but I think going forward with it is the best way to handle it. It obviously needs a lot of work, and we don't even know what the meta is going to be with the new changes. You have to force the teams to play CS2 tournaments, because that's the best way to speed up the whole thing. Otherwise, if you want to play this year but on CSGO, then some other stuff might pop up when you start playing CS2 that could have been fixed if it had been forced earlier. It's not gonna be perfect from the get-go, it's just about being patient and open-minded. And the manager of Cloud9 summed it all up. Phenomenal event. The developer completely removes the old version of the game from the store and just ignores the entire industry, not providing the tools all the time to prepare. At the same time, the industry does a solid job promoting their product. Again, it gives a clear impression that Valve acts on instinct and is afraid of making mistakes. No operations, no additional modes, some very moderate hype. And they put pro players in such a tricky situation that I can't even imagine how they're scheduling practices now, considering there are 2 active versions of CS and how they're supposed to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, I completely agree with the confusion surrounding the tournaments. Why couldn't they had a conversation with ESL and Blast, pick the most appropriate release moment, announce it, and have everyone on the same page? It seems like Valve and tournament organizers aren't communicating at all. This doesn't seem like the actions of professionals with multi-million-dollar budgets or even multi-billion-dollar budgets. Valve is acting like an indie studio, as if they aren't aware that millions of people really depend on them. And all of this only fuels the game's haters. For instance, Shroud, as always, didn't stay on the sidelines. Valorant is the top shooter at the moment. CS2 is easier, I promise, 100%. How can you not get it? If Simple moved to Valorant, he wouldn't play at a pro level. Overall, the launch of CS2 wasn't the smoothest. A slew of issues right off the bat, now this confusion about where the championships should take place. Some continue to play CSGO while others have already transitioned to CS2. It's unclear who to train with and how to do it. Most modes are missing, community servers are still in the works, and even demos are scarce. This isn't the game launch we were expecting. Now we might have to wait another half a year or even a year for CS2 to even approach CSGO in terms of content and stability. And maybe in 3-4 years it will finally surpass it, if we're lucky. Friends, what are your thoughts on the game's release? Drop your opinions in the comments, I'm eager to read them. Friends, I have another fantastic news for you. My partner, MyCSGO, gives away free cases. What do you need to do? Well, it's as simple as possible. Just add $2 to your account. Well, the more you top up, the more free cases you get, and they drop 3 at a time. I haven't seen such generosity yet, and if you get skins of no interest, you can immediately trade them in a contract or upgrade to get an amazing skin. You can repeat that every day. The website has a special provably fair system so that you can check any operation, everything is open. They have been in the game since forever and you can find thousands of reviews on Google. The bonuses don't end there. You can receive a gift every day, and by using my unique promo code in the pinned comment you will get additional one. Also, if you use live news as a promo code you will get up to 40% bonus for all your top-ups. It's just too good to be true, isn't it? But here we are. Click on the link in the pinned comment to get it all. Thank you, my dear kind friends, for watching the ad. Let's move on. Now, let's discuss what's going on in the pro scene. As we mentioned in our previous video, Aurora's coach, Innershine, has officially left the team. They lost their last game with a single win in the CCT series. Speaking of which, Boomich has won another tournament, claiming 2 CCT titles in just a week. At this rate, they'll be just like tier 1 teams in terms of prize money soon. As for Innershine, rumors suggest that he's set to become the new coach for Nafani's team, so he won't be idle for long. But what's even more intriguing are the other reshuffles in the pro scene. Remember our discussion about Nealon leaving Game Religion? Well, it has happened. The club made an official announcement, and guess who's replacing him? The veteran Snacks. This 30-year-old is storming back into the tier 1 scene and will serve as the new team captain. Of all the players, he was the last one I expected to see. Congratulations to the legend, he's back in action. But the reshuffles don't stop there. NIP is preparing for some major changes. They recently brought Threat back to their org. He previously served as a coach, then transitioned to various roles, and now he's back overseeing the CS lineup. In a recent interview, he mentioned that they're gearing up for reshuffles. With no significant results and unhappy players, changes are in the wind. Harumi jumped in on this wave and announced that Brawlon will be leaving the team, so we're in for some major reshuffling in the pro scene. And last but not least, on the subject of team changes, Tai Lu is reportedly signing the Cyclone roster. These guys made some noise in the ESL Pro League, and being picked up by a serious org were just a matter of time. Rumor has it that the players are already posing in Tai Lu merchandise and aren't shy about the imminent announcement. Now let's talk about the ESL Pro League. Honestly, I have no clue who's interested in it anymore, neither pro players nor fans, but it needs to be concluded. We last left off during the quarterfinals, which turned out to be quite surprising. For instance, Monte won over Vitality, which is quite notable. SDY's team defeated the top-ranked team in the world with a 2-0 score. DMQ delivered a performance for the ages. Everyone was, let's say, taken aback when Monte was leading 13-4 on their map Anubis. In CS2, that's basically a win. Things were equally under their control on Nuke. They were ahead 13-7 and seemed unstoppable. They almost let a comeback slip through near the end, but managed to close it 16-14, marking a historic victory. These guys are exceptional, showing that they can take on the world's best teams even without Boros. Navi, on the other hand, easily dealt with Eternal Fire. Simple, playing with a fever of 39 degrees Celsius, achieved a 1.42 rating on the 2-0 scale. Maybe he should always play with a fever. As for the Ence vs Movistar Riders match, the outcome was quite predictable. 16-2, 16-5, Snappy and his team completely decimated their opponent. The final matchup proved to be the most intense. Surprisingly, Mouz knocked out G2. It seems that G2 is plagued from within. On Mirage they could have clinched the win easily, but Monte had the worst performance of his career. 0 frags throughout the entire second half, which results in a 0.17 rating on the 2-0 scale. In contrast, his counterpart, Torzi, has a spectacular second half, boasting 1.41. And when your sniper is clearly losing duels against the opponent's sniper, there is little chance to win. Then, on the decisive map Inferno, everyone performed terribly. Nico had only 10 frags and Huxi just 5. Frozen stats alone unperformed the entirety of G2. The youngsters from Mouz were simply on fire, earning their spot in the semifinals. And now we come to the most exciting part. Yesterday's matches of Navi against Monte and Ence against Mouz. The first matchup was also historic as World2k and Simple finally reconciled. Yeah, Simple and I are friends now, I just want to win the semifinals, that's all. These were the words of World2k just before the game. History is unfolding right before our eyes, and who would have thought that Monte would continue to terrorize tier 1 teams even in the EPL semifinals. At the start, the lads from Monte began strong, giving Navi a hard time on their pick. This persisted until the score was 11-7, but after that, SDY's team seemed to switch off, committing a plethora of mistakes and losing rounds after rounds. Just look at the incredibly tough situations from which Simple managed to pull through.
Monte, are they going to crumble or are they up to the task? Out through main, Simple gets rid of Kraz now. They're splitting this through the camera. Simple can't keep his eye on both these spots. Surely one more from Simple's AWP. They're planting the bomb. He's still raining down death from above. Simple, last man to find, it's Waro2k up into the heavens now, and Alexi deals with him jumping.
Simple.
Navi, 14 rounds, and it's Simple.
So, Navi managed to hold the devastating assault from Monte and clinch a streak of 9 consecutive rounds. My respect. On Mirage, the situation mirrored exactly what happened on Anubis. Monte fiercely dominated the defense and gave their opponents no chances. Bit was spilling his rage on the table, JL sat with 0 frags and nothing was working out for Simple. Once again, Navi needed a round that could turn the tide, and they got one. Suddenly, Alexi B delivers an ace, and after that Navi found their groove. This was precisely the same narration as on Anubis. From that point, they conceded only 1 round. And Monte again lost their rounds that could have been won, whether it was a 2v5 or 1v3 against Bit.
Gonna try and make an incision now, out through the market door. First kill is Bit. Molly is big, that forces the reaction. Bit! What a play! A mastermind! He puts that one.
All in all, Monte seemed to be doing everything in their power to let Navi close them out.
Triple swung from spawn, that's how it closes. Navi in the grand final as they knock out Monte 2-0 to put a stop to their run and get some much-earned revenge.
In the end, an easy 2-0 with Navi advancing to the EPL finals. Post-match, Simple and Waro2k even shared a hug. 2 arch-rivals turned best friends. By the way, Navi reached the finals without dropping a single map, a significant feat. Who would have thought that this new lineup would gel so quickly, much faster than Cloud9? However, this victory celebration was overshadowed by a conflict that arose post-game. Twitter exploded with a moment from Stewie2k's stream where he said the following.
Simple, I'd say. He has. I mean, he's pretty solidified because he's the face of Russia.
The clip was presented in that exact manner, without context, which naturally upset Simple. He responded, "I don't think you'd appreciate it if I called you the face of North Korea." This sparked a wave of discussion on Twitter. Stewie2k replied saying he made the comment accidentally, and later on during his stream he apologized, although this wasn't included on the clip. At that time he had been streaming for several hours straight, was exhausted, and got muddled on his own thoughts. As soon as he realized the mistake, he immediately apologized. He said he didn't intend to offend anyone and has immense respect for Simple. To which Simple replied that he too might have overreacted, and in the end neither of them holds any grudges against each other. So all's well, and they're looking forward to their encounter in CS2. And as always, a conflict with a drama emerged out of nowhere and just as quickly has been resolved, thankfully with a happy ending. That clip of Stewie2k and Simple hugging will forever hold a place in my heart. As for the second semi-final, Mouz surprised everyone once again. I thought Ence would reach the finals as usual, but Mr. Torzi had completely different plans. He racked up 69 nice frags and led his team to the grand final. On their 2 winning maps, Mouz never really felt any pressure from Ence. On the first they led 12-5 and just needed to close it out. Snappy's team made a decent comeback, but they fell just short of rounds. On the deciding nuke, it was a complete blowout. Mouz were leading 14-4. No matter how good Ence might be, there's no coming back from that. So we're in for a rather unexpected final. Navi versus Mouz, a best-of-5 series. The CSGO era should end on a special note, and we'll soon find out how it pans out. We will discuss the final match in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything CS2 related. I won't say goodbye for a long time. See you soon.